For today's session, our learning outcomes are identifying the summer learning challenges and how Khanmigo and Khan Academy can help address them, how to use Khanmigo tools to support student engagement and progress, and also creating those effective summer learning plans with Khan Academy and Khanmigo. Okay, so our agenda, done our welcomes and introductions. We'll jump into summer learning. We'll also talk a bit about some teacher tools that you can use and give you time to also share out after playing in the tools. And then we'll talk about some next steps. All right, for some summer learning, first I want to take that step back and talk about the summer learning challenges. Summer slide is one of those key challenges that we're here to address today. So according to research from the National Summer Learning Association, students can lose up to a month of learning over the summer, especially in math and reading. And that translates to 20–30% of their school year gains. And that impact becomes even greater for low-income students who may lose up to 2 months of reading skills, which further widens that existing achievement gap. So beyond academics, there are other important challenges that we have to consider too, like the lack of that daily structure that they have in their school day, limited access to learning resources, as well as that social emotional impact that can come with potential isolation and disengagement when they're not in that school community. So of all of these factors, that can make it hard for students to be ready when they return in the fall. But I'd love to hear from you first of what summer learning challenges are top of mind in your districts? Could you share in the chat? What are summer learning challenges that are top of mind for you and your district? Yep, having an effective, engaging summer school program. Yeah, that's also a big, Jonah, of how to keep students learning in that summer. Yeah, thanks, Aviv. Also balancing that, getting that time for students to learn and practice, but it's also that time they have off from school, making sure that they get that rest and play as well so that they're recharged for the school year. And I see Cheryl. Yeah, so especially at the high school level, you go from algebra 1, then you're going into geometry, and then algebra 2 comes after that. How do you prepare students for those classes? That seems so different from what they just took from the previous year. It might feel like they're not, them, it might feel like a disconnect of building those foundational skills. And then we see some double down of how do we have that engaging summer learning program. Thank you all for sharing those challenges that you're considering and thinking about that are top of mind. So these are challenges that are exactly why Khan Academy and Khanmigo here to help support you, your district, and your students. So let's explore how that can support you. Oops, sorry, going back. So addressing these summer learning challenges is a top priority that we're considering for us and across the country. 80% of state education agencies have identified summer learning as a key strategy to combat those learning losses. So they're top of mind for everyone, and districts have responded with creative and impactful approaches. They have free summer school. They're partnering with their local community organizations like the YMCA, and also ensuring students have access to technology devices over the summer so that they can continue on with their learning. So the good news is that your district has one more powerful tool in their toolkit. It's Khan Academy complemented with Khanmigo. And Khanmigo is specifically designed to help those students with that just-in-time support and scaffolding that they need anytime and anywhere, and with additional resources like we talked about our last session to help any learner. Let's take a closer look at how your district can leverage leverage these resources and how we can support either that on-site summer program or designing a flexible at-home learning option. And so we have a great summer streaks. It's called a Summer Streak Success Guide. I will drop it into the chat. It's a kit that is a one-stop shop for you all to have. That shows a number of ways that Khan Academy and Khanmigo can help your students over the summer. And that's whether it's going to be at that school site or if it's going to be kind of at home. We'll focus on in this session on where I have these little blue sparkles, ways to help students get that jumpstart on math if they're ready to move on and prepare for the skills for their next grade level course. Some of our students might need a bit more support sharpening those skills for what they are taking this school year so that they're more ready for next school year and continually to hone those skills. And then we're also going to talk a bit about our writing coach. So that's a writing workshop that could be used to support those ELA initiatives. And I'll drop again in the chat so you have access to this, is our summer learning success guide. This includes access to student guides as well as parent guides who can help support their students in the summertime. And actually, let me open this up just so you can have a look at it as well. So a number of things to be able to choose from. You also have a few teacher guides and you have a sample parent letter in here as well. Teacher guides can either choose a streak or you as a district administrator can guide your staff as well as your students on which of those things that you'd like to complete. So is it we're going to focus on particular units for us to work on throughout the summer? Is it try to work through the Get Ready For course, which we'll talk a bit more about, of honing that proficiency in those skill levels. And there's also options if you'd like to do SAT practice, and then also talking about writing coach in here as well. We'll save SAT for another time, but again, we'll focus on supporting those math skills as well as writing coach. And then before I jump into showing how our courses can be used and Khanmigo to complement it, wanted to show that we have efficacy studies that back the usage on Khan Academy to help accelerate student learning. And so we might not be able to hit 60 skills level to proficient in the summertime itself. That's something that'll happen over time over the course of a school year. Every bit of learning that we do is a step in that right direction to help keep those skills sharpened. And so I'll jump into an account soon just to demo it for you all. But these are our Khan Academy courses. On the left-hand side is that full suite that you can access. So this might be a chance if a student needs to review their current school year's material, we can focus on that. So that could be on this left-hand side, some of those on grade level math courses. Or if a student is ready to do that jumpstart for next school year, the Get Ready For courses are a great way to do that practice of those foundational skills so that they can be ready for, they're 5th grader now going in the 6th grade. It's a great way for them to get that practice. So I am going to jump into the platform just to do a bit of a demo of that for you. This is your administrator homepage. If you're logged in, you're welcome to log in and follow along with me. In that top left-hand corner is the Explore page where you can find that full suite of courses that you and your students have access to. I'm going to scroll down, and on the left-hand side is where you'll find those Get Ready For math courses. So they're those foundational skills. So I'm going to go into 6th grade, and I can see if we're going to get ready for ratios, rates, and percentages. That's something that our students can work on for the summer, either as a teacher to assign them or for those students to work on them on their own. And Jay, yes, we do have a pre-assessment. We called that our course challenge. So I can click into that. And it's 30 questions. It'll take about 30 to 45 minutes. So we'll take a handful of those skills so that students can see where they're at. Are they already at a proficiency level and understand that skill, or where do they need to get more practice? And then it can also be great to use this course challenge again, maybe a month later or a few months later as a way to gauge, okay, where are my students now with their understanding of that course? Okay, I'm gonna go back to that course itself. So I showed on the bottom left-hand side, that course challenge as a pre-assessment. I'm going to go into the courses themselves, and I'm going to go into starting on an exercise. So this shows I'm getting ready to work on those basic ratios. So need to understand multiplication and division. And so I can start working on word problems. I'm gonna hit let's go. Maybe I'm already stuck. I have some videos that I have access to, or I have Khanmigo here in that bottom right-hand corner. So open up. And students, they won't have what I'm currently seeing as teacher mode. I toggle over to students, which is all that students will be able to see. And they'll get that support of help me solve this, try a similar example, or like, oh my gosh, why do I even have to learn about this? But I'm going to click on help me solve this and popping it open a little bit bigger so that you can see. But Khanmigo is that Socratic tutor and is going to help me through this. And a reminder that we have the microphone button here. So if students are at home and want to hear what Khanmigo is saying, they can click on that. They can also click on this microphone if they want to speak in order to have that conversation with Khanmigo. So those two options there is accessibility options for students. And then also want to give a reminder, so maybe some students need some support in their home language. They can click on these three dots at the top and then click on preferences. And I could adjust the reading style. It's already at the simplest setting, but what's really neat is the language option. So I'm going to click that. The options that we have Khanmigo officially available are English, Portuguese, Spanish, and Hindi. And so if I use any of those official languages, so if I click on Spanish, students will be able to use those text-to-speech and speech-to-text options with Khanmigo in Spanish. And then also the text will also be in Spanish, so they can have that conversation. So that can help those students that need that extra language support, and also if they're at home and their parents are, for example, Spanish speakers, then that's how parents can also support their students if that language has been updated. So the Get Ready for Math courses are an option for students to be able to work on those skills for next school year. And then if you're already following along with me and in the platform, I'd love for you to be able to select a Get Ready for course and work on a few skills and try that out with Khanmigo. I'll give about, let's do 1 minute, 2 minutes. I'll give a bit more time if you're already logged in and go into one of those Get Ready for courses and trying that out. So click into the course, click on a skill, work on it, and also ask Khanmigo for some help. Any questions that you have or any feedback as you're trying that out, please drop that in the chat. I'd love to hear. As you're trying that out, drop in any questions or any thoughts as you're using Khanmigo to help you with your Get Ready for course. I'm going to continue on. Another tool that's available to you all and to your students is Writing Coach. It's a great way to support students with writing their academic essays and will help them it can help them through all the steps of that writing journey. So it could start with understanding what that assignment even is, outlining, drafting, and then that final revision stage. Students will also be able to access Khanmigo to get feedback on their essays. So help me with that introduction, that style and tone. Khanmigo is there to support them. And then if teachers use this as a way to assigning this to students and having them write the entire essay, they also get information into those insights and understand where students might be using a bit more help from other AIs than maybe that was part of the assignment. So the writing coach can be a great way to support students with practicing, writing those academic essays, and guiding them through the process to get feedback. Unfortunately, don't have time to demo that for you, but this is available to you and I can get you a video if you'd like a bit more information on that. And for those that have been using Writing Coach already, we've recently also added an option where students can select, I've already written my essay, I don't need to work on my outline. I've done that outside of Khanmigo, can use that option so that I can focus on just getting that feedback of what I've written with my essay and getting feedback from Khanmigo. Cheryl's question is, does Writing Coach work for writing in other content areas? Yeah, I know some folks are using it for like social studies, if they have some essays that they're writing for their history course. I think some folks are starting to explore it, for example, for their science lab reports. It's not fully designed for that yet, but that is also a thing that students could try out with using the Writing Coach. So that would be more of maybe the essay feedback writing part. If they're doing the full essay writing process, it's more of, for example, if they're practicing for their SAT essays, AP test exam essays, that could be a good option. And yes, the question is the essay feedback revision still focuses on the same 5 areas. So go back a slide. Yes, so it'll still be introduction, evidence and reasoning, structure, conclusion, as well as style and tone. Great questions. That's okay. Great. So quick about Writing Coach, more to come. And so for one last piece that I want to make sure to cover today is teacher tools for back to school. We have a number of teacher tools that have been crafted for teachers to be able to use, supporting differentiation. Want to move on to what are some of those tools that'd be great to focus on for back to school planning support. So summer, we also need a bit of a refresher, so that refresh my knowledge, that'll be great for us as well as for our staff to be able to use, especially if we're teaching something new soon. Lesson plans to prepare for upcoming classes and for the upcoming school year. Maybe a class newsletter to get folks excited about what's to come. I especially want to focus in on the SMART goal writer. So it's a great way to focus on goals. We're actually going to hop into the platform and I'll do a demo, and I'd love for you to try out writing a SMART goal as well. So at the top of my dashboard, I'll click on Khanmigo and click on Teacher Tools. I have this full suite of tools to use here, and I could scroll down to find the SMART goals, or I already know that I would like to access that, so I could just search for it. There's my SMART goal writer. You'll see it's initially designed for supporting specific students with their SMART goals, but you can actually tailor that to make it a bit more of a broader goal. So for example, my goal is going to be typing this in. My goal is 80% of my 5th graders will complete 1 unit of the Get Ready for 6th grade math every 2 weeks by July 15th. And then for my outcome, I want to make sure that Khanmigo knows that this is not just for a specific student, it's my district-wide, or it could be site-wide. So I'm going to say as a district initiative, we would like to prepare 5th graders, and actually it's going to be 5th graders for next year's math course. And then I would love some detailed steps for that to see how am I going to achieve my goal. And hit start. And Khanmigo is noodling on the SMART goal. All right, So Khanmigo is building me out a plan. So we have our goal, preparing fifth graders for that upcoming sixth grade math course. For measuring success, we're going to see the percentage of students that have completed all assigned units and getting to that proficiency level. And let's see what the steps are. So I'm going to see, let's take a look at those units, start developing that timeline. We might use that pre-assessment that we talked about, so the course challenge. Developing and planning and delivering engaging lessons. I see also ideas for direct instruction, collaborative group work, hands-on activities. I actually want to double click on this one. I need a bit more help here. This is where you can see this purple bar. That means that I can do some conversation with Khanmigo to get more help with that. The pencil means make a change to this. I can hit these arrows if I want Khanmigo to just kind of try again, or I can have a discussion with Khanmigo. That's what I want to do in this situation. So to discuss this, I'm going to say, okay, what are, so maybe I'm doing this, we're doing summer school. I want examples of what these hands-on activities are. Need some ideas right now. It's almost the end of April. Help me out, Khanmigo. Okay, so some examples it's giving me, let's do some math manipulatives, math games. So maybe we'll do a board game or a card game, doing some interactive simulations. Maybe we're gonna have a project and we're gonna work on a scale model of a building or a bridge. So once you've created this and Khanmigo has given you a response, you can keep having that conversation with Khanmigo to tighten up this plan with and getting more help with what you need. So maybe I want to dig more into the building projects. I can keep asking Khanmigo for more help with this. So I'd love for you all to try it out. Try out the SMART Goal Writer. It's one of those teacher tools. And I'm gonna drop in the chat if you want to try out this particular one of saying this goal, or feel free to try a different one out. That's the example that I used. You're welcome to write something different for your SMART goal. But give you, we're almost at the top of the hour, so I'll give you about 2 minutes to try this out. And let me know what SMART goal did you come up with? What did the steps look like that Khanmigo is helping you with? Now we're working in the SMART Goal Writer. That's one of the Khanmigo teacher tools. And I'd love for you all to be able to work on a SMART goal for this upcoming summer or for this upcoming school year. Remember to give it either your site level context or your district level context so that it's able to tailor your SMART goal plan. Otherwise, it defaults to initially just writing about one student. And then drop in the chat. How was Khanmigo's response in providing a plan for you? Any questions that you have with using this? I'm going to continue on. I'll keep an eye on the chat as you get a chance to work on your SMART goals and any questions or feedback that you have. So for next steps to consider, work on the SMART goals, take a look at that success guide. And also tune in for our final session of the series. So on May 8th, we're going to be celebrating student success. So join us to be able to celebrate the end of that school year. A reminder of your team, so for both Arizona and California, we're here to support you. So reach out with any professional learning support that you might have, any questions that you have with implementation or goals. And then a reminder of this quote from our founder and CEO, Sal Khan. As technology plays a major role inside and outside the classroom, we want to keep making sure that education innovation is accessible. So we're here to support all students and all times throughout the summer, so that we are continuing to adapt in this rapidly changing digital landscape. So appreciate you all for joining me today for our summer learning session. We have this email address if you have any questions, or reach out to your district success manager for any help. I'm going to drop again in the chat the summer packet. And also for any folks that are not part of a district partnership, we hope you found this information helpful. You can scan this QR code to submit your district interest. Thank you all for joining me today. I'll hang on for a few more minutes if you have any more questions, but appreciate you all for joining and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Victoria, how do we know if we're already a district that's associated with you?
If you are doing your rostering through Clever or ClassLink to us, and that should be an indication of the partnership. We can also follow up with you. Jay, I'll have Aviv and Chelsea reach out.
Okay. So if I went to ClassLink and I saw Khanmigo, that's mean we would have it. Okay, I'm just looking.
If you see like a Khan Academy tile, that should give an indication. We will follow up with you, Jay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see one yet, but.
Okay. That might be a sign that we need to work on the partnership.
Okay.
But glad you could join us today.
Yeah, no, thank you.